Podcast is brought to you by 4Nub and Christian Mingle.
Oh my god.
Black one. Black on black? No, that's not right. It's not blacks only. That sounds even worse.
If farmers can do it as farmers only, then blacks
Yeah,
could also do it for blacks only.
It's Black People Meat. That's what it was called.
Blacks.
MEET, not MEAT. That's a pretty big difference. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to go to blackpeoplemeat.com and see what happens.
Oh my god.
Oh, it cannot
I
be.
hope
Oh, it doesn't exist. Register.
And he's on the list.
Welcome to the first episode of Dose and a Half Cinos. That
Dino,
title's still pending.
are we decided on that?
Just based on the way that it's going, I'm pretty sure they'll probably be like, I think they spelled Cinco wrong.
You would have Cincos.
Because it's clearly should be spelled with an S.
Dose and a half Cincos.
Dave, do you spell Cinco with an S?
No. Sinkos. Cinco.
Cinco. Is that where you do the dishes? It doesn't make any sense.
No, but
That's why I like it.
It's not about what you like, Ben.
It's what the people want, and the people are saying Cinco.
Okay, let's take a straw poll.
Cinco de Mayo. All right, straw poll,
I'm gonna make
and
a
there's
straw
like
poll, and you guys can go vote on it.
if you want us to stay as Dose and a Half Cinos or Dose and a Half Cincos. So that link will be in the description for you guys to go ahead and vote. Just a little bit of background about us. My name is David. I like rom-coms and animated films such as like Toy Story. And then so I'll leave it to Stu, kind of do a little introduction about yourself and what you bring to the table, what you think about.
I mean,
And
what don't I bring? I mean, there was the Black People Meats thing. That was pretty good. And others. But yeah, I guess I'm here because I am very much into, action movies, and not so much like the cheesy action. Well, I do like cheesy action movies, but by cheesy action movies, I mean something like the upcoming Hobbs and Shaw movie. Like, I don't know if I'll be much into that, but I'm very much into something that would be like John Wick. So that's like my favorite movie franchise right now of all time. So some stuff like that, I feel like, and I'm very much into, and like I can provide a lot of the background for movies, because there's a lot of, gunplay in those kinds of movies, action. I can provide a lot of kind of background information on stuff and point out things that, things that I like because they're, might be a real, like, that's like a real thing they're doing, and then point out things that I hate because it's fake and that it's just a movie thing. So
excellent. Ben? He's already laughing already uncontrollably. I'm trying
Ben's
to figure
just
out
here
if
to
this is
giggle
gonna be
in the background, apparently.
he's the background laugh track for most of the.
So this
Ben,
podcast featured movie is Old Yeller. Stu, tell us about the gunplay in Old Yeller.
Oh man, so they use a Remington side-by-side 12 gauge to put down Old Yeller, and let me tell you, that is just a classic firearm right there. No collection should be without it. And welcome to Stu's gun podcast, where I talk about guns and stuff. It's a podcast inside this podcast. So everyone else shut up. I talk about guns.
Thanks
No,
for our
sorry.
sponsor.
Yeah, thanks to our sponsor,
The NRA.
Smith & Wesson.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Ben. I watch everything that David watches, except better.
Oh shit.
Okay, shots fired.
I
fired.
cover what?
Oh, it was not a 12 gauge shotgun, right, Stu?
Are you fact checking me on right now? Don't fact check me.
Okay.
Wait, did you say,
Ben, continue.
did you say fact check or
Fat check.
Either. Yes.
All right, Ben, continue. You watch
Uh,
movies that are like mine, but better.
I cover, well, I try to cover a large breadth of movies, so I don't really particularly stick in one
Okay,
genre.
it's anime, Ben. That's why you're here. Okay, just say
Yeah,
anime.
stay in your lane. Stay in your
Yeah.
lane.
Don't
That's what I
fool
need
the
you.
audience.
Try to make
Actually, it's
yourself-
called Japanese animation.
Okay. See what I mean, audience?
Yeah. So the only person that's currently missing is Sean. He's kind of like an all-arounder. Same thing with Ben. They watch a lot of different movies. And part of it is just that Sean brings I want to say hip hop culture. He kind of gets a lot of the references for that. So I thought that we'd be a really good mix together, and we obviously have a lot of good chemistry. We have a lot of fun together. And so, hoping that we can turn this into something.
I
So
think out of the four of us, Sean's the only one who could probably be allowed to sign up on blackpeoplemeet.com. So
Wow.
that is true. If we
Wow.
hey,
ever
I'm gonna
get,
milk this. It was a good bit. All right, I'm milking.
Wow.
and we're gonna slice up every single bit and just
Wow.
like just gonna say meet.com.
Wow.
So we'll just jump right in.
Oh,
so
Joe just woke up.
what?
Joe just woke up. Joe alert.
Joe, this is the Joe alert.
How do you know
Joe
that?
Watch 2019.
Because I texted him this morning and he literally just responded.
That is a good metric for when he wakes up. Is if you text him, by the time he responds, that's when he wakes up. So
It is. And that's been your daily Joe alert.
yep.
Well,
And
that
back
is
to you.
probably going to be only applicable to like the other 8 people that will probably end up listening to this.
Hey, them's the breaks. All right.
That's true. That is our target audience.
Yep.
So Thomas, that was your Joe alert.
Yeah.
All right. That time is currently 9:06. That's what time Joe woke up. Just to know.
Let the record show.
All right. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. What is the last movie that you guys saw?
Oh, let me talk about the stinkeroo I was led to believe was going to be a good one by Mr. Ben Smalley here on the podcast. A little whatever you call it, called Midsummer.
It's Midsommar.
You know what? No, it's Midsummer. You know what? Because this movie sucks. Like
Midis.
I'm not pronouncing it correctly. It does not even deserve it.
So why is that?
This is a real This one was a real stinkeroo, and let me tell you why. And of course, I'm sure, and I know Ben is I'm pretty sure we're on the same page here. He's just doesn't
Trolling.
appreciate my pronunciation, but it started off pretty good. It was very Hereditary-esque for those who've seen it, Hereditary, which I thought was a really good one, and I know we all like that one. But this one started off that way, and halfway through it just took like a really weird and boring turn, I feel like. Maybe not boring's the right word. Maybe Ben, you can elaborate.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you on that. I did really enjoy the first half of the movie. The first half of the movie,
First half was great.
It was gripping. It had some very disturbing imagery. It really was sticking with me throughout the whole movie. However, as soon as that third act rolled around, it just took a really, really, I want to say strange turn. Not boring, but very strange.
Boring wasn't the right word. I'm bad at coming up with words, so.
Oh, I can come up with words.
So it wasn't as engaging once the third part.
It was not
engaging. Like I said, strange.
Whereas like something like Hereditary, if we draw the comparison, because it is the same director, right, Ben?
Yeah.
Ari Aster.
Yeah.
Like Hereditary was like it had like this really kind of like slow start. I feel like it was like a slow build up, but as it was building up, it got like even more and more intense, more like more what do you call, just like more gripping, to use the Ben's term there. But this one, Midsommar, was kind of the opposite, where it started pretty great. Like it was like you were kind of, you were really in it. It really grabbed you, but then it really just fell off real hard at the towards the third act.
So
Yeah.
without giving anything away, what is the kind of like the overall kind of plot? Like, what did they get themselves into? And then for the people who haven't watched it yet.
So it's a story about a girl, and let's just say something tragic happens to her, and because of this, she finds herself going with her boyfriend and his friends to what region did they go to? I don't really
Sweden.
recall.
It was somewhere in Sweden.
Okay, somewhere in Sweden where they were holding this festival, and just strange things start taking place during this festival, and they're all forced to kind of face it together.
Yeah.
Now, for me, yeah, I have a lot of the same problems that Stu had with this. It started very strong. It lost us into the third act. The third act was so strange and almost laughable. I mean, actually, it was laughable.
Yeah, because not only us, but when we were in the theater, because we saw this together, we were not the only ones who were laughing at what was happening in the third act. It was really like, I mean, it was bad for me. It was bad towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was really disappointing because the first act, the second act had all this great shots and all these great ideas, and it really was sticking in my head. They really were just driving at the, like I said, very disturbing imagery. But as his third act rolled around and it started introducing those ideas, I completely forgot about it, and I pretty much just lost it. All of it was gone. Everything that the first and second act built up to just completely destroyed.
Yeah, like it kind of. I know. I remember feeling very like on edge the entire like up until the third act. It was growing more and like uneasy about what was happening in the movie. But then, of course, as we said, third act comes and all that. How long is that movie? Two
and a half.
2.5 hours. So like the first 2 hours of being like on edge is completely wasted by the third act.
And it just kind of falls on its face almost.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of get what the director is going for, what Ari Aster is going for, and this is maybe just conjecture, but it seemed that because of his runaway success with Hereditary and how well it did for a limited release movie, A24, the production company, seemed to give him a lot more leeway with what he was doing. And I'm saying this is conjecture because at the same time that the movie was released, I believe there was news about Ari Aster being starting his own production company. So all that success seems to kind of run a little rampant. And I want to say that A24 didn't really try to reel him in or try to rein him in on what he's supposed to be doing, and it just turned into this goofy mess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to take your guys' word for it.
Yeah, when are you going to watch it, David?
Yeah.
I don't think that's where the three of you guys come in. I'm probably not going to be watching that one.
Well, why not, David?
I'm not too interested. It didn't seem very exciting to me.
No, not exciting. That's strange. That's very strange. It was a very engaging movie. The first 2 hours are very engaging.
Yeah, just make sure we'll go see it with you, and we'll just walk out at the point where we need to, and so you can have a fond memory of it.
Yeah, I'll think about it. Let's think about it. Let's see. What did Ben? What else have you guys seen?
Did you see anything else, too?
Let's see. I think before Midsummer, the last movie I saw was Godzilla.
Oh, okay. King of Monsters.
King of Monsters.
Oh, how was that?
I enjoyed it very much, and I was telling David about this earlier. It was in comparison to I think it was 2014. Let me do a quick check.
Is that Skull Island? Or
no.
What am I talking about?
No. Actually, I thought I heard Skull Island was actually pretty good, but I never actually saw it. But yeah, so they did a reboot in 2014.
Right.
With this one had Bryan Cranston in it.
That's right.
I already did a spoiler on that a little bit, but anyways, That one was terrible because let me tell you what, and let me list the reasons, um, which might only be
Let's hear it.
which might only be one or two. I don't want to be boxed into having to come up with a third thing in lists.
This is a terrible
Um,
BuzzFeed article, by the way.
but yeah, so just to compare it to the 2014 Godzilla, uh, there was pretty much no focus in the 2014 Godzilla on the monsters fighting.
Nope.
They were like it was like imagine it's like you're playing like a fighting game and then you're on a level, or imagine like I don't know Chun-Li's level when you're in like the streets of wherever Hong Kong, or is she in whatever, and in the background there's like the guy with the chicken and someone's trying to sell you newspaper, right? Am I getting this, Ben? Is this tracking?
Well, keep going. Keep going. I want to see where this goes.
Okay. Hang on, let me pull up a quick picture of Chun-Li's level
Apparently, Stu has nominated himself as the fact checker for
for myself.
for
The
for
analogy
this
maker.
podcast at this point. Yeah, the analogy
Now
checker. Go ahead.
I just pulled up a bunch of pictures of Chun-Li, and I'm gonna have to start looking at these for a while. Hang on.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, there's a guy going by on a motorcycle on his bicycle. There's the chicken in the back. There's like a barbecue, whatever. Anyways, so the movie was like focused in on the players who are fighting in Street Fighter, while the monsters are the things in the background. That's what 2014 Godzilla was. They were so focused on the story of like the little kid who was like Bryan Cranston's son or whatever, trying to escape the devastation the monsters were were doing, and that's not like in my experience what makes those movies great. Whereas the one they just did this year, 2019, was much better. It was so focused on the monsters, and it had multiple monster fights. It had Mothra, it had Godzilla, obviously. It had some other one. I don't know all their names, but it was it was
just go ahead and describe it. What did it look like?
it was like a three-headed one. There was like a three-headed one. I forget what he was called.
Was it a dragon-looking one?
I mean, Godzilla's kind of dragon-looking, right?
Yeah, we don't have wings.
Well, I guess that's true.
I'm pulling up the Godzilla King of the Monsters cast list, hoping that they list the cast of the monsters.
Wow.
Oh, with the names? Were they voiced by anybody famous?
No. Wait, no, it says here Nolan North was the voice of Godzilla.
Wow. No wonder he's not so familiar.
Chris Tucker is the voice of Mothra.
Yeah, kind of like, or is Eddie Murphy is Mushu and stuff like that.
Mushu actually talks in Mulan, though.
Let's see, Godzilla, yeah, I guess they had a new one. I don't know if this is a new one. They introduced was it called Muto? I don't know. But anyways, the point is, there was a lot of monster fights. Pretty much, it seemed like the only one missing was like King Kong, which I didn't realize was part of the Godzilla monster universe.
Wasn't there one movie that was just dedicated to King Kong versus Godzilla?
That is coming out, I believe, and that is going to be from the director of Kong Skull Island.
Boom.
I need to watch. I haven't been wanting to watch ever since I saw King of the Monsters because it was talking so much about well, not so much, but it was
Skull Island.
Yeah, and I had no idea that they were in the same universe.
Well, I guess that might be a nomination for a movie night for Keith, because I'm pretty sure Keith's never seen it either.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty safe to say, yeah.
So, okay, maybe that might be a new segment we just add up and just be like, hey, we talked about this. We'll watch another movie some other time. Let's see what else is come
What
up.
about you,
Ben's...
David? I'm doing feel like I'm doing all the work here.
Yeah,
what
David.
have you seen?
Yeah, David.
I'm going on break.
Booksmart recently.
What's that? I haven't even heard of that. What is that?
Oh,
That
okay.
one is the girl version of Superbad. It's about two girls who are in their senior year who are about to graduate, and they feel like they've missed out, and so they go to this. They kind of like try to get to this party, and then they get into some shenanigans, and they kind of discover stuff about themselves, and it's a coming of age type movie. I thought it was okay. Obviously, I preferred Superbad. But one of my coworkers I was talking to about the movie, he said if it wasn't for Superbad, this movie would not have done as well as it did. So I think that kind of tells you where we are now, is that this movie kind of represents how far we've kind of come, and that you can have two female protagonists running through the entire movie, and then you don't have to worry about like the male protagonist or anything like that. So I thought it was okay. I thought the jokes were a little bit cruder than I was expecting. Um,
More
that was
cruder than Superbad?
that's the only thing. I haven't seen Superbad in so long, so maybe
No.
I'm just compartmentalizing and just
Maybe you're
assuming that
just
it's
getting
just
old.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that's just it. That I'm just only remembering certain parts that I thought was really funny about, like when he got the driver's license
Right.
card and all that stuff.
So,
Um,
did they have an equivalent to McLovin in this movie, Booksmart? Was there an
no,
equivalent like, oh, a fake ID, what's the name?
no, they did not. I
No,
don't,
okay.
I don't, not that I remember. I saw it actually on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
So you would hope that I would remember. There were certain things that like stuck out to me, but I felt like it was kind of a little bit awkward in some of the moments. But I guess that kind of makes sense when it comes to being in between senior year in high school, where you're top dog, you're about to go places, and then you're about to join like become a freshman in college, and you start all over, right? You start from the top and then you go right straight to the bottom. So I think that maybe the awkwardness is probably the thing that probably kind of made me unsettled a little bit. But I haven't seen Superbad in a long time, so maybe that's something I need to revisit and say, how does it compare and stuff like that.
Mm. Was
I
it?
actually
Go ahead.
watched that movie as well.
Okay.
Booksmart, but I watched it 2 months ago, so I might not remember it or have a fresh memory of it. But I did have a good feel about it.
Is a
You know,
feel-good movie, you would say?
yeah, definitely a feel good.
Yeah. For sure.
I felt the chemistry between all of the actors and actresses. I thought it was really well done, especially with them being so young. What's really interesting is that yeah, it's there's a lot of comparisons to Superbad, and the one of the main actresses, I don't remember her name, but she's actually Jonah Hill's sister. So
Wow.
Wait, is it the main actress?
one of them, yeah, one of the two friends. Yeah, so she is actually Jonah Hill's sister. So because the whole time I was watching it, I was like, wow, she really looks like Jonah Hill.
I'm trying to picture what a female Jonah Hill looks like, and it's not going great.
Uh, is her last name also Hill?
No, it's not actually.
Is it Beanie Feinstein? Feldstein?
I think so.
Feldstein?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I see it now.
So yeah, I
Oh
thought
my God.
I know right now you can't unsee it.
I can't unsee that they're right next to each other.
Also,
Okay.
just a quick segue while we're on the topic of movie or actor actress relatives. While I was trying to just brush up on movies before we started talking, I saw a movie on IMDb listed. I don't remember what it was called, but it had Clint Eastwood's daughter in it, and that is a face that you cannot unsee also, because when you see her face, all you can think is Clint Eastwood's old wrinkly face.
Wow, that must not be great dating that person.
I mean, I'm sure she's got plenty of money, so it might be pretty great. So,
He's got 5 daughters. Which one are you talking about?
oh shit, here we go. I
They're
mean, I'm
all
sure they
just-
all look like him. So,
Uh,
They're all just dressed up as him from different
yeah,
movies.
holy
different-
moly.
from different westerns, they're all just dressed with a poncho and a revolver.
Which one's next to the Gran Torino?
What?
Hang on,
He's-
you can edit out.
He's,
this
he's
edit.
89. He's 89 years old. I'm not editing any of this. This is gold.
I mean, you just edit out the dead air without you can edit out my
Typing?
keyboard clicks.
Dead air.
Yeah, we can do that. Dad air.
Dead air, right?
So
But the other thing I wanted to bring up about Booksmart, a really good performance was actually from Billie Lourd. Is that her name?
The
She
singer?
was no,
No.
not Lord, not
Oh.
not Lord.
I didn't know if that was her first name or not. So
Who, the girl that played Gigi?
Yeah, she definitely was a scene stealer. She is also Carrie Fisher's daughter.
wait,
So
Scene Stealer.
Oh no, because she had so much, like, her energy was so dynamic. Like every single time she was in a scene, like I completely forgot what was happening in the scene, and I was just focused on what was she gonna do.
yeah,
Like she was very captivating, so I thought that was, I agree with you. She did a great job.
yeah.
She was really fantastic in that. I thought it was really funny that they put Lisa Kudrow and Will
I
Forte as
know.
the
Oh
parents.
my, Will
Oh
Forte.
man,
Holy crap.
that guy, I don't know what it is, but he's
When is
always
he
so
not
funny.
great? When is he not like funny?
Oh my God. Yeah,
I want to
he.
know.
Oh, well,
He's
it's
like
not funny
funny.
when you don't get to finish, Last Man on Earth. That's
Oh,
the only. Did you guys not watch that show at all?
I did
I
not watch
watched.
that.
I
I
watched
mean,
the first episode.
I knew of it.
I watched all of it, and then they got to the end, and then they canceled it, and I was like,
Actually, you know
right.
what? I'm mistaking Will Forte for someone else. I'm mistaking him for the guy who played not Banyan. Uh, oh shit, the guy from 30 Rock, Jack's nemesis.
Oh, you're
Oh,
talking about Will Arnett.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Will Arnett
But
was
Will
really
Forte's
funny.
good too.
Yeah. Stu, how do you really feel?
I mean, he's all right. I
Okay.
mean, he's kind of. I mean, he sucks.
Um,
I don't
so
have a
I
strong opinion.
also recently saw, um,
Also,
I,
real quick.
yep.
I don't. I wanted. One of you said scene stealers earlier, and I wanted to make a joke about 40K, but I just wanted to make that clear
I
that there was potential 40K joke to be made, but
I don't know anything about 40K.
Like Warhammer 40K?
David does. So
I don't know as much as I used to.
well, Thomas will know.
Okay.
So
Well, if you want to inject your 40K
no,
thing,
I
you're
mean,
more than welcome to.
it's moment's gone, but I just wanted to. I just
Welcome
wanted
to
to.
the Warhammer
Yeah,
40K podcast.
yeah.
Thanks to our sponsor, Purple Bricks. It's under promo code 40K.
Sponsored by Games Workshop or whatever. Okay. Anyways, continue, David. Sorry.
Oh, so I also I also saw the movie Yesterday.
Wow,
That one.
What movie did you
that
see?
was surprising. That is
Why?
surprising.
Why, you haven't seen it?
What movie did you see yesterday?
Oh
Badooks.
my goodness.
How was it?
I really liked it.
What's that one?
I
I've also not heard of that one.
That is the one where a guy, he's a struggling artist. He used to be a teacher, and then for some reason, there's like some miracle that happens, and 12 seconds, the entire planet goes dark, and then he gets hit by a bus,
Oh,
and then
right.
yeah, he
That's
wakes
when
up
he
and
like
no
does
one,
the Beatles songs, right?
correct, and no one remembers the Beatles, and then so he gets kind of big, and then there's like a part where he runs into like this dilemma, but he's that's kind of like a love story, and it's also obviously very very fictional. But I thought it was really well done. I know it's a very indie type movie,
All right.
but I really enjoyed it because the music was really good. I really liked how the main character was really fleshed out. I really liked how he came off as, like, you could tell like he was struggling. Like you could tell like he had this like uneasiness about like what he was doing. Yeah, passing these songs
About
off his own and stuff like
ripping
that.
off the Beatles, basically.
Yes, exactly. There's also one. There's a very big cameo in it, but I don't want to ruin it. I'll save that for
Is
later.
it Paul McCartney? It's Paul
It is
McCartney, isn't it?
not Paul McCartney.
Is it Keanu Reeves? It was Keanu Reeves, wasn't it?
It is not Keanu Reeves.
Was it
Unfortunately.
Jay-Z?
Was it what?
Is Jay-Z?
No, it's not Jay-Z. All right, stop guessing.
Is it Ed
All right,
Sheeran?
welcome to the next segment of the
Oh
podcast
my
where we
God.
just guess.
Stop
He was in the
guessing.
trailer.
That's also true. Yes, it is Ed Sheeran, and he does a really great job too.
Oh yeah, I just googled the Yesterday movie, and in the YouTube
Trailer
trailer
is
is Ed Sheeran's stupid
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, so it's Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran makes a cameo, and
Wow.
he's actually
What is
he plays a good, he has a decent part in it. So I
Didn't he
thought it was
also
really good.
cameo in Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones? Yes, he was.
He played a song.
Uh-huh. And then
And he
he
winks at the
apparently...
camera and says, "This is an original wink." He
Oh,
actually does.
I thought he was one of the White Walkers.
No, he was actually a guy.
guess
who
Oh,
played-
no. Aaron Rodgers was one of the White
No,
Walkers.
was
Was it?
he was Ned Stark, right?
What? No.
Oh.
Aaron
I-
Rodgers, the football player? The quarterback for the Green Bay
Yeah,
Packers?
he was Ned Stark. Yeah, right.
No, it wasn't.
Right? Am I remembering this right?
I have no idea.
Ned Stark?
Ned Stark, Aaron Rodgers, played by Aaron Rodgers, right?
Uh,
Anyways, David, you just ruined this joke. Thanks. Moving on.
Ooh, do you have a soundboard for a boo sound?
I can add my. Well, let me time
Well,
mark this.
Let's not get that gimmicky.
hour
At least
07.
until we've made some money off of this.
Ooh, this is how we're gonna make the
Boo
money.
sound.
Just by being gimmicky.
Every time there's a boo sound, then we throw in.
Okay, so you would recommend Yesterday.
I would recommend Yesterday.
Okay, right, Yesterday, directed by Danny Boyle, right?
Yes,
Yesterday.
totally, because I know when movies are directed by the director, or I know what movies are there.
Well, you're supposed to.
Okay.
Come on, do your homework. God. All
What
right.
am I in
for
school?
Yes. Now, for tonight's reading, you're
Oh,
going
wow.
to read chapters.
Is this going to be on the lectures, on the notes, on the slides?
Yes, and it was Danny Boyle. We did it. Wow, actually, Danny Boyle. Okay.
What do you know
Yes.
about Danny Boyle?
Danny Boyle directed 28 Days Later.
Ooh.
So,
I already like this guy.
Post-apocalyptic movie with zombies?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, 28 Days Later. Train Spotting 2. He also directed one of my favorite movies, Sunshine. I love
Oh, the one where they
Sunshine.
go to the sun?
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I fucking love Sunshine.
I thought you were about to say, you know what I was about to say. You know what I thought you were about to say.
All right, so
Yeah,
Ben,
really
any
adding
mo-
some
any
production
other
value to
movies?
this thing.
any other movies that you felt like were noteworthy this week that you saw, or recently in this past month or so?
Are we allowed to talk about things that are not movies?
Like TV shows?
Yeah.
Like animes, you mean?
Yeah, like
In
anime.
hentai?
Yeah, like hentai.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, do it.
Okay,
This is
great.
This is your time.
Oh, this is my time. Okay, welcome to the Ben Somali Hour. Hour. Brought to you by Old Spice. Body Power, Odor Blocking Power, Body
You've mangled
Power.
that one.
Hour.
There goes the Old Spice sponsorship.
We're never going to get Terry Crews. So, I actually did watch a movie, and it was actually in the top 10 for box office this weekend. It was called The Farewell. I really liked it. It is the story of a Chinese family who discovers that their grandmother only
Right.
has to live, and they decide to have a wedding pretty much to kind of have an excuse to visit her in China. And it is a very low budget movie, but let me tell you, I really, really liked it. It really highlighted some difference of culture. It stars Awkwafina, who is the granddaughter. She lives in New York, and just about her difficulties trying to understand what's going on, how her culture and her views of family kind of conflict with everyone else's views and what their responsibilities and duties are. And it was also surprisingly funny, I have to say. And also, throughout the whole movie, the father figure,
Oh man.
I couldn't really figure it out. Like, it was bugging me because I've seen him before, but it's just one of those faces where it's like, who is this guy? After the movie, finally figured out, it's the guy from Rush Hour. It is the Chinese consulate.
What?
Wait,
I
you
was
didn't
like-
know that?
I didn't. I was like, wait, why does this guy look
Nice.
so familiar?
Is it the same universe? Did he retire
Sima?
from the consulate and now he's
Yeah.
With my daughter. And
I don't care about you. I only care
Wait,
about little girl.
was Aquafina's name in the movie Soo-young?
Yeah. Her name was Tsuyo.
Oh my God, it's the same universe confirmed.
And she pushes the damn button, and the grandmother dies.
Oh,
That was
damn.
the plug.
Twist ending.
Wow, that got dark really quick.
But yeah, it is. I highly recommend the movie. It did really well actually this week actually for its it's not really debut. It's been in its third week, but it's gotten really good reviews. If you are looking for a good movie to see, not a lot of people seeing it right now, so you probably can get a good seat without having really to make a fuss or hustle over it. So check it out.
And it's 2019. There's reserved seating now.
Yeah, so you don't have to go like a few hours before and see like, oh, which seats are open or whatever. So you could just walk in and there's like a billion seats open.
Okay. All right. Well, I will keep that in mind because I actually wanted to see that. So
I mean,
I'm glad
when
that
David
someone else saw it before me.
When David sees it, he'll just be like, "What? This is normal. This is everyday life. What are you talking about? What's so great about this?"
Every day is like this.
The food also looked really good in the movie. Because
Oh, man, I'm sure they had so much shrimp dim sum, Ben, that you probably were loving it, right?
half of the movie was them eating, and it wasn't shrimp dim sum. It was
Shrimp fried rice.
They had crab.
Yeah. Ginger onion crab. Salt pepper crab.
Wow.
Ginger onion lobster.
Yeah, great.
Oh man,
great.
all that stuff.
That was
Great.
great.
Wow.
Aside from that, I also have been watching a TV show that came out last week called The Boys. And let me tell you, I really like it. I know it's gotten some mixed reviews. It just came out on Amazon Prime. For those who don't know, The Boys it's a Amazon Prime TV show produced by Seth Rogen, and it is about superheroes, but more specifically about a group of regular people that want to kill superheroes. And it is quite short. It's 8 1-hour episodes. I highly recommend you check it out if you want something a little dark, with a lot of dark humor, something a little grittier. And the production value on it is just insane, I think. It definitely doesn't feel like you're just, cheap run-of-the-mill CW show or something. It definitely even if they only visit a few sets, you feel like there's this whole world around them that needs to be explored. A lot of mystery, a lot of great characters. If you want to see some really gnarly stuff, I would highly recommend you check it out.
Is it based on a universe at all? Is it like DC, Marvel, or is it just kind of like their own superheroes with like the typical archetypes, like the strong guy, the guy who can fly, Okay.
Yeah, it's actually based off of a comic book series called The Boys.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
hold on, makes sense. Now it's time for our box office review where we go over the top 10 movies that are currently out this week. And taking the top spot, we have Lion King right now at 76.7 million. They're holding the top spot. That one received a 53% on Rotten Tomatoes. Is that higher or lower than you thought it would be?
I'm a little surprised at the disparity between the amount of money and the rating.
I am not surprised at all. Actually, this kind of fell where I thought it would. Actually, the score is a lot lower than I thought it would be. It was definitely a movie I was not very interested in, but I was very surprised I got such a low score, especially looking at their last attempt into something like this, which was The Jungle Book. Same director, Jon Favreau. It was, retelling of a classic animated Disney film, Animals, except live action, not live action, CGI animals, photorealistic.
Yeah.
I didn't think it'd work, but it looks like, nostalgia just beats out everything.
I guess that's the only reason I could explain why it made so much money with such a bad score.
Well, it is Disney. I mean, you can't beat the mouse. The mouse puts out something, it's gonna win. I mean, all of their remakes have been doing extremely well. I mean, Aladdin is still in the top 10, and they're on their 10th week. They're on their 10th week, and that got a 56%, and it is still averaging pretty damn high. it's the number of theaters that it's showing at is a little lower, or well, yeah, it's a little
Yeah,
lower
we're
than
we're
the US.
almost 3 months in now at this point.
Yeah, and it's still getting a boatload of money.
Mm.
Right now, I mean, it got what 3 million this past weekend. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
I like Disney is definitely pulling its weight with these remakes. A lot of people are, have been reviewing, these remakes are absurd. It's kind of trampling over my childhood, my nostalgia. This is why it doesn't work this way.
Do you think that the reason why these Disney movies do so well, even though a lot of people don't seem to like them,
Mm.
is like they're doing the thing on YouTube or whatever where they're buying views?
I think it's a combination of things. Their advertising has been phenomenal. If we look at pretty much, I guess a really, really good example would be the X-Men films. You're all familiar with the latest one that came out, Dark Phoenix, right?
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I know about it. I did
Yeah,
not watch it.
yeah, I didn't either. However, it was one of those films that was in this unique position because when it was coming out, it was stuck in the maelstrom of Disney buying out Fox. So it was in
Hmm.
this weird limbo state where when it was getting released, Disney acquired Fox and it didn't really know what to do with it. Uh, Pretty much it went through a lot of I believe it went through a release delay, but I'm not sure if it was because of the Disney buyout. I know they had to do a few reshoots, but essentially after the Disney buyout or the Fox buyout, I don't know what to call it, uh, the marketing for it drastically changed. It went from this movie you heard like once every few weeks, it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot that movie was coming out. You see a trailer for it maybe like once every 4 movies that you see. It's just like, oh, yeah, there's Dark Phoenix. I wonder when that's coming out. You always forget about it. To suddenly every time you're on any kind of form of social media, there's something about X-Men. There's something about Dark Phoenix coming out. That was something I kind of noticed. It was pretty bizarre. They started doing
Okay.
all these different events for Dark Phoenix, even though the movie itself was a little confusing because there was a lot of production issues, all this sort of stuff. So yeah, I think Disney is really good with marketing through social media. Figuring out its target audience and kind of blasting them in the face with it, saying like, okay, this is what you're gonna see. You're gonna see it.
I
Get
mean,
ready.
I remember seeing a lot of Dark Phoenix ads, but maybe my Disney receptor is broken. I did not. The more I saw it, did not want to go see it any.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not saying
Else.
that I wanted. It's not gonna make you want to see it, but it did remind you that it was coming out a lot
Right.
more than when Fox had complete control over it.
I
Mm-hmm.
see.
Yeah, so I'm saying that Disney definitely has a better grasp at this and marketing movies in general.
Yeah.
So,
Man,
yeah,
that movie did not do good on Rotten Tomatoes.
no, it did not. It did not do well on Rotten Tomatoes. Did not do well at the box office at all. I don't even think did it get top 3? I don't even know.
I don't think it cracked the top three ever. I think it stayed in like the bottom, like 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there in the range.
Yeah, did not do well. I mean, there were definitely a lot of issues with it, but whatever. Anyways, what I'm saying is that it's a combination of Disney's marketing and knowing what the audience or what the domestic viewers would want to see. So something like The Lion King. Sure, it sounds a little goofy when you say, "Oh, we're going to make a live action Lion King," but they really knew how to market it, how to make it more palpable to an audience. You put Don Glover in there, you put
Yeah.
Beyonce, you put
Seth
James Earl
Rogen.
Jones back on it, Seth Rogen, Eric Andre.
Yeah.
You got like
Yeah.
this huge cast, this enormous star power, and you got John Favreau.
Hmm.
It was like the dream team, but the movie itself didn't work. A lot of Disney's remakes haven't really worked well, haven't worked critically, I guess.
I I think the only one that actually did well out of all the live action ones that were originally transformed from like the animated was, I think Beauty and the Beast was the only one that really was, a lot of people like really liked it, except for
Yeah.
the fact that they were really upset that there was a character that was gay, and I was like,
Oh,
okay, that's
oh
not
yeah,
that.
they made Gaston's little, who I forgot his name. They made him
The
like a reflection.
chandelier,
No,
the
No,
candle.
no, the
no.
chandelier. There was never even
Oh,
a
oh, you're
chandelier.
talking about Gaston's friend. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they made him like secretly gay for Gaston or something.
But wasn't he always kind of that way?
I mean, if he was when we saw it
It
as
wasn't
kids,
explicit, you mean?
that thing goes right over your head because as a kid you're not going like, oh that guy's gay or anything like that. I mean, you do that for other reasons, like, but you don't like point out to it. Oh, he must be in love with Gaston. I mean, at least not I didn't. That I just always pictured him as like the Weasley like little sidekick to Gaston. Um, but I guess they decided. I mean, I did not in the original think that he was gay with or for Gaston or whatever. I don't know if you picked that up as a kid, but
Mm-mm.
I certainly didn't.
Yeah, well, I knew he was very fond of Gaston, but that was pretty much it.
But I
But
mean, yeah, but in the sense of like you see other movies where it's like, like the Weasley little sidekick where he's like, yeah, you tell him.
That was a really good imitation.
I think we're gonna have to turn that part into a soundboard for sure.
Yeah. So
You tell him, Gaston.
yeah, like that's the dynamic I interpreted when I saw that movie as a kid, even if I ever saw it when I was older. That's always the dynamic I had, not that he was gay for Gaston.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
I guess people will get upset about anything or whatever. So
Yeah.
What about
But actually,
go
there
ahead.
was something interesting about that. So, uh,
yeah, the
well,
thing I
another,
just
well, one of the
Yeah, you
reasons,
tell him.
one of the reasons I think that the remakes are doing so well is because of nostalgia. You take a, very popular existing property that hasn't been heard of in a long time. You bring it right back up, and everyone, it just jumps right to number one, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, the last one that did really well was Beauty and the Beast, and that one brought in quite a bit of money. Um, its second week of release, it went head to head with something else, and it was actually Power Rangers. And
nice.
Power Rangers actually did well too. I think that, you could do very poorly critically, but as long as you bring an existing property that a lot of people know about, a lot of people love, it's just going to bring them right back, no matter how bad it does.
I mean, I'm going to, whenever they do the reboot of Power Rangers, I'm for sure going to go see it.
Case
Take
in
your
point.
Um,
points.
so
I mean,
I'm definitely on that hook. They
yeah,
got me on that one. Although for something like Lion King, for some reason I don't know if it was just the animation, I just wasn't feeling it. Because I haven't seen it. Is like I guess I have too fond of memory of the original that
I
I don't think I would want to spoil it with
Mhm.
something that might not be as good.
yeah, that was something that was kind of preventing me from seeing as well. That and I'm not a real fan of the photorealistic look. Part of what
Yeah, that's the part I struggled with also.
Yeah, part of the charm of the old one was Simba having that wacky, crazy
Yeah,
look. If he like ate a bug or something, it's like
yeah,
it's just
like how when like yeah, so like when is that like that seems like that kind of animation has just like kind of fallen off a bit. Like like you-
yeah. I think Disney was a little misguided in their attempts here. They were thinking people want to see something more attached to the real world, so let's make it
wrong.
photorealistic. And yeah, I did not like that choice at all. I saw a clip from Lion King. It was a little laughable. It was the scene
Like
where
I can't even imagine any of the like the Timon and Pumbaa scenes in the photorealistic, animals.
try
Like
to think of that when Mufasa dies. That
Oh,
was
like
the
like
clip
a
I
friend of
saw.
mine told me that he started like laughing
Yeah.
because like Simba's supposed to be like super sad, but then
he just looks like a
obviously
lion.
just like a regular. You can hear Seth Rogen crying and like trying to sell it, but it's just like you look at the cat and the cat's
Wait,
not doing anything,
did you say Seth Rogen?
isn't it?
Donald Glover?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I
Oh,
forgot.
no,
I don't know who's what.
or it was
It's
a
like
different actor for the child Simba.
Baby Simba.
Yeah, Baby
Oh.
Simba. I don't know who it was, but it was not Seth Rogen.
That's
Sorry.
why I was like, oh, maybe Seth Rogen did the young Simba. I don't know.
No. I think I'm wrong in this one. I think I mixed up the names. Okay, so second comes in. Coming in second with 84% is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at 41 million.
Oh shit, that movie's already out.
That has been out since
No.
last Thursday.
Wow, shit, I wanted to see that.
Yeah.
Well, this is a good opportunity to do so. So you guys think that that's probably based on ratings and stuff like that and the hype. I was actually kind of surprised because somebody was telling me that it wasn't doing well in the box office, but $41.1 million domestically sounds like it's pretty good. I'm interested in seeing it. I'm probably going to see it this week. So we'll definitely talk about it next time.
I mean, it's Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, what's not to like about that?
Literally that should be the synopsis of the movie. Just
Yeah,
Leo and Brad go see it.
yeah, just see it.
Yeah.
Ben, have you seen it yet?
I have not yet, but I
Okay.
have heard there's
Mixed things
been
about it.
no, there's been disparaging remarks about it.
I mean, it's got a
Particularly,
pretty high rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
there was a little controversy.
Oh.
I read about it. You know what? I will save it for next time because I think it does kind of creep into spoiler territory, and I want to keep
Oh.
it fresh for you
Okay,
guys.
that's
so.
fine.
Yeah.
Next after that is Spider-Man: Far From Home, which is the follow-up to
Which
Homecoming, and then
still have
obviously
not seen.
No,
Yep.
it's actually the
seen it.
follow-up to Avengers Endgame.
Endgame.
Wow.
Yes. Okay.
Wow, David, get off the podcast. Do you know anything about movies? Jesus.
And that's the podcast.
Damn it, they're figuring out about everything. Okay. It is the follow-up to Avengers Endgame. Spoiler alert, I guess. So don't watch that unless you've watched Endgame. That's it.
Also, if you haven't seen Infinity War, don't watch it.
If you haven't seen Infinity War, don't watch Endgame yet.
And if you haven't seen Captain America: Civil War, don't watch Infinity War. And if you haven't seen
and 15 minutes later, if you haven't seen Iron Man 1, then go see Iron Man 1, I guess. That's
all
right.
So it's 10 years worth of movies. It's a fantastic. This is a start of a new arc, right? New story arc.
New phase, as they call it.
Phase.
Right?
This is the proper ending, according to Kevin Feige.
Oh.
Proper ending to Avengers?
To the Phase 3, apparently.
Oh.
The Infinity Wars or whatever.
Yeah.
Infinity, story, whatever.
Wait, so when you say proper ending of Phase 3, was the ending of Phase 3 technically Endgame?
Yeah, but I guess this would be considered like the after credits scene.
Oh, so it's just one really long after credits.
Yeah.
It turned into a full movie. Well, I still haven't seen it yet. I didn't.
Well, let me tell you my favorite scene, David.
Oh, okay.
Oh God. All right.
I wanted to go see it, but Joe put the kibosh on that because he hates Spider-Man apparently.
What?
Wow. So none of you
know
seen
that
it?
guy to have a hateful bone in his entire body except for being awake.
Yep.
Wow.
But yeah, I have not seen it yet. Hopefully, is it still in theaters?
It is still in theaters. It is number 3 on our list.
Yep.
Hopefully, I can go see it before it leaves.
A movie I saw comes in at number 4 with $10.6 million and has a rating of 98% on Rotten Tomatoes is Toy Story 4.
Yes. Another one I have not seen.
Ben, have you seen it?
Yes, I have seen it. I liked it.
The big question is, do you want to see if there's going to be a 5th one, or do you think this is a good ending?
I don't. I mean, there's no way there could be a 5th one after that. I mean, even if they did, it'd be
a little bit of a stretch. Oh, okay, I'll agree with you. It's a little bit of a stretch. I really like this one. I think the dynamic. It was good to see them do this again, having Tom Hanks and Tim Allen again on interacting again. I think that was really, really good. I know that probably a good 20% of the movie they're not in the same scene together, but it shouldn't have taken 10 years. That's probably the only thing I would probably say. They took 10 years between this one and the third one, and also took 8-9 years between 2 and 3. Out of the 4 movies, I think I liked the first one the most.
Obviously.
and then no, but it goes for me. It's 1, 4, 2, and then 3.
No, but
Really?
I was
Yeah.
wow. But I was gonna
So,
say, I mean, everyone likes the first one the most. That's just a
Yeah.
given.
Yeah,
Okay.
actually, oh man, this is some.
Except for in the case of Rush Hour.
Then it's
Wow.
1. Everybody always likes the first
Then
one.
it's 2,
2,
1,
1, 3.
No.
Yes.
It's 2, 1, 3.
Don't let
Okay.
if we
There's
get
another
if
combo.
we go
No.
off on a
Yeah.
tangent
Right. We don't
on
want to go
Rush
down
Hour,
this road.
we'll
That
be
will be a
talking
full
about
pod.
it for
We
2
will
hours.
make. How about this? We'll make that a special episode of just
The
Rush.
the Rush Hour special.
The
Okay.
Rush Hour special. We're turning that around like I don't know. We'll do it like, as the Christmas episode if we get
Okay.
when we get there.
Okay.
When. All right. So following up after Toy Story 4 is there's kind of a big jump in between here, and the next one is Crawl at 4.2 million. It had an 83% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Has anybody seen it? I haven't seen it. I want to, but I haven't gotten
Seen it.
I haven't seen it, and I'm not really into these types of movies where it's like
the natural disaster
not,
thriller thing.
well, I mean, I guess natural disaster is kind of your dad's territory, but I guess this was also supposed to be like natural disaster / horror movie, where I mean, I don't know, crocodiles are a thing, and they can eat you, so.
I heard this was supposed to be kind of like a fun B movie.
Yeah,
Kind of like Sharknado.
Kinda, except a little
More realistic.
It looks a little better than Sharknado. Let's say that much.
Well, yeah.
Well, I will
Actually
probably
a
end
lot
up seeing
better.
it at some
I'll say a
point,
lot
so.
better.
Yeah, this is just conjecture for me, though. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Says the guy who's seen it 3 times.
Let me tell you about Crawl 2. Okay.
So this time it's alligators instead of crocodiles.
It's in
Or
denial.
whatever.
Gator.
It's a gator. All right. Following up after that is coming at 3.1 million is the movie I saw yesterday, 63%.
Wait, which one did you see yesterday?
Oh my God. All right, moving on. Aladdin at 3 million, 56%. We discussed that in depth when we talked about Lion King. Obviously, still a little bit of a surprise that it's still in the top 10, but not surprising because of the fact that it's a Disney movie. So after that, there's like a weird mix of movies. It's Stuber at 1.9 million, 42% on Rotten Tomatoes. I know we're a movie podcast, but I have no desire to watch this movie at all.
You have no desire to see Stuber?
No.
I kind of want to see it because for number one, I like what's his name?
David.
Yeah. And then 2, I mean, unless they showed all the funniest parts in the trailers, I thought it looked pretty funny. But maybe that's just my my simple-minded way of liking things.
Well, okay.
I'm not very refined, so that kind of movie I think I would enjoy. But I know at the same time I know it's the type of movie that isn't going to probably do very well because although
so you better watch it soon.
Has a pretty high audience score.
Yeah, I could see the appeal of it. Dave Bautista and Kumail Nanjiani. He's pretty funny, and it also has the main star of The Raid in it. So
nice. I mean,
there
you go.
That was Iko Uwais. I was kind of drawn towards that, but at the same time, I was kind of not sold on the name of the movie. That's actually what really turned me off to it. It was just
wrong.
like
you have something against stew? The word stew?
No, just the people
bird?
named Stu.
Okay.
Wow, he just walked right into that one.
Yeah.
Now something interesting to note about this movie.
Him.
Actually, it's doing terribly. It's doing god awful. Like, yeah, it's in its third week.
Because I think it's like, what I was saying before is that like it doesn't seem like it's like I don't know, this is just my opinion. I feel like a lot of people are kind of up their own asses about movies a lot. Where they'll see something like this and they'll just like dismiss it immediately.
Which one are we talking about?
Stuber.
Okay. I will admit I do feel a little snobby about it, but because of the fact that you guys mentioned a couple of things, I will probably end up seeing it at some point. So I don't know.
I just like his. my main motivation for seeing it is because I really like his character in Guardians. So
Yes.
um,
Dave Bautista has been really killing in his roles, honestly. I mean,
yeah,
he had Guardians of the Galaxy. He's going to be in Dune. I am really
nice.
excited about that. And he was in Blade Runner, which I thought was really surprising, and
Wait,
he actually had a really good role. So
he was in Blade Runner?
yeah,
Who
he
was
was
it?
in he was in the beginning.
Oh,
He had a small role, but he was in the beginning of the
Oh, he
movie.
was the guy in the beginning. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, with the small ass glasses,
Right, right.
the tiny glasses. But
okay. All
yeah,
right. Maybe I'll consider it. Maybe I'll watch it.
I think it's definitely one
Um.
of those movies I will see if it was on Netflix or something.
Yeah,
Like
I
just
mean, it's definitely not something I'm gonna go see in theaters because I don't go to theaters that much, and I'd rather see something like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood
ah,
or even Toy Story 4,
yeah.
and obviously Spider-Man because I haven't seen that. But it definitely, if it was on Netflix or any streaming thing I had, I would definitely watch it.
All right. Well, I mean, we'll see. Maybe it might be pleasantly surprised, and I might see it and just say, "Oh, you know what? I think it was definitely worth it." The one after that is that comes in at 1.6 is Annabelle Comes Home. That's at 65%. As you guys probably could guess already, based on them
Yeah.
asking if I was going to see Midsommar, Somar, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, that's because
Not
you're
a
a pussy.
not a huge fan of horror films, so.
I mean, no, you're a
But
pussy.
did you
That's
guys?
what it is.
That's fine. Everybody, we need one on the show.
It's
I guess that's
okay.
me.
We need
Um,
someone on the show who doesn't like good movies. That's okay.
Oh, so you're saying Annabelle Comes Home was a really good movie?
Yeah, it was. Okay, I can't do this. I didn't see it.
Should've
My
just said-
favorite part was when she came home. Um,
Don't think
I
you
yeah,
should.
I didn't see it either, but I did see the original movie that had the doll in it. I don't. It
The
was
Conjuring?
yeah, The Conjuring, and those were. I think I only saw the first one, but that was great. But I didn't know if it. I had this weird thing where it's like I thought the movie was supposed to be about the doll in The Conjuring, but it seemed like the doll was so auxiliary.
Oh, it
In
was like such an afterthought. It was like, oh,
yeah,
well, we're just gonna write a movie about the
it's like the doll was kind of
the doll
there, and
afterwards.
then but it wasn't like the focus. So
Oh yeah, I think that's what the focus of these films are because there's a whole slew of movies that kind of deal
like
with stuff in The Conjuring. So it's just
yeah,
like, oh, these two detectives, they've dealt with it all, and Annabelle just happens to be one of them, and it was just
Oh,
visually,
okay.
it was just like one of those things in The Conjuring. I was like, oh man, hey, that doll, I wonder what that's about, but they never really touch on it.
right.
So
And then boom, here's some movies about the doll. And then
yeah,
did you ever wonder about like the chair or the table or
No,
like the carpet?
no,
Oh, they're gonna write a movie about the
no,
carpet.
Dave.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah,
So
those types of movies. I mean, initially like The Conjuring, it was great, but once movies start kind of like doing this thing where they spit out a bunch of other movies, like in this case with Annabelle, that's kind of where I lose interest.
okay.
mm,
And then the last one is the one that Ben had mentioned, the Farewell. Even though it released, I think it was limited release was on July 13th, I believe. It finally hit, widespread release. Came in at 1.6 and it has a 99% rating on um, the Rotten Tomato meter. So I know that Ben really was fond of it. I look forward to seeing it. Um, so yeah, that pretty much wraps up the IMDb score and our follow up. Do you guys have any words about it? Any interesting things that you saw that based on the list that you're like, oh, I thought it would have done a little bit better, or you think that's pretty accurate based on where you would have assumed they would have fallen?
yeah. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I thought landed right about where I thought was going to happen. Number two slot seems perfect for it. It's not going to reach a wide audience like The Lion King because, well, if it's rated R, doesn't really appeal to everyone and you can't beat the
Yeah,
mouse.
can't take your kids
Uh,
there.
no, I mean you
What? You didn't
I mean,
take
can.
you
your
can,
kids
people do.
to Wolf of Wall Street?
I mean, people do, but
Yeah,
kids don't go there on their own to see it, maybe.
I don't know. You don't know that.
That's
Yeah,
true. I don't
yeah,
know. Kids these days,
Fake IDs and all.
yeah.
rock and
But
roll and
it I think this is the highest grossing Tarantino movie or highest opening for a Tarantino movie that's ever happened. The second highest happened for Inglourious Bastards back in 2009. So
it's
this
very good.
it Yeah, no, it's been pretty good. I would have thought that Django Unchained would have done better, but guess not. Jamie Foxx is not enough.
Controversy,
I mean,
something,
Jamie
something.
Jamie Foxx is great, but he's not Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Which,
Or Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to do like a flashback to 2009 or whenever when Inglourious Basterds came out.
Yeah.
I feel like that movie could have used a lot more Brad Pitt because he was like my favorite part of the movie, but it was still a good movie. So.
Well, because
He
every
was my
time
second
he said the
favorite.
word Nazis.
He was your second favorite character in that movie?
Yeah.
Who was your first favorite?
Christoph Waltz, man. He got the Academy Award for that movie. Damn, he really. Ooh. Oh man, I'm just hard thinking about him.
Wow.
I think that's time for a commercial break.
Oh yeah.
We'll be right back to Ben after these messages.
After Ben rubs one out.
The rub out break. Instead of a subscriber break, we just have a Ben rub out break.
All right, Ben, are you done rubbing it out yet?
Yeah.
Okay, now done. All right. So now we've come up to the part where we talk about some of the things that we're looking forward to seeing. I know that we've kind of already talked about it slightly, but I look forward to seeing The Farewell, and I guess I'm adding Stuber to the list also, and then also Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think those were three that I just added Stuber just now because you guys kept talking about it. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because I just, like we said before, it's Leo, it's Brad Pitt, and it's Tarantino. I just want to see what they do with it. And I've heard half the people that I talked to loved it, and the other half were like, this was like the worst Tarantino movie. And I was like, whoa, okay, let's see which one it is. And then The Farewell, I saw was really interesting, just because, my background and stuff like that. So
what's your background, David?
I'm Chinese.
You're Chinaman.
Or actually Taiwanese, but I'm American.
Wow.
I'm American.
Wow.
American. I America. I love America.
I mean, while David is probably the most Chinese on paper, he is about the whitest person in practice. So
he is whiter than Wonder Bread.
Yep. So for those of you who don't know David Chen,
I'm sure you guys will all figure it out soon enough.
Yeah.
Because it's just the 8 of you.
Yep.
Okay. So I guess I'll throw it over to Stu. What are you looking forward to? What did you see? Was there any like new trailers or anything like that?
So yeah, I mean, obviously I want to see Homecoming. Well, I want to see Homecoming because, like, if you started watching the Marvel movies and you've gone this far in, you can't just like stop. So, and also I think the Spider-Man Homecoming was like probably, in my opinion, the best Spider-Man movie made.
Haven't you not seen it yet?
No, Homecoming, you idiot.
Oh. I thought you said you hadn't seen it yet.
No, I have seen Homecoming. I haven't seen Far From Home.
Wow.
Oh.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, so Spider-Man 2 was called Spider-Man Homecoming? That's crazy.
Oh my
That's
God.
really weird.
The reason why I don't put the Tobey Maguire ones in is because I'm so soured on what it became.
Because of the 3? One was so good though.
That I just can't.
You can't separate them.
One was good.
Whereas so far, all of the Tom Holland Spider-Man, every Tom Holland Spider-Man has been great. So
yeah, but we'll get back to that. But wait, David, do you think 1 is better than 2?
Oh.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Shoot.
David's world is about to come crumbling down around him.
Wow, welcome to the David's Always Wrong podcast, where he talks about why Rush Hour 1 is better than...
Whoa, okay, hold on. That one, there is no 2 without how great 1 was.
Welcome to the David Chen is Always Wrong podcast.
Oh my God.
Anyways, back to me. Yeah, Homecoming, obviously Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I shows you how in touch I am with movies because I wanted to see it and I didn't even realize it was out. I think those are the 2 big ones I want to see, and then obviously Stuber, but I'm probably not going to see that in theaters.
And you'll wait till it hits HBO, Netflix.
Whatever, Netflix. Now, as far as movies that are coming out, there I've started looking at some, what's coming up. One movie that's coming up fairly soon that I'm really interested in seeing, and this might be something that we kind of touched on, whereas there might be more of a nostalgia factor here, is the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You want to see that because those books were such a huge part of my childhood.
I actually have never read the books, but I am interested in seeing it because Guillermo del Toro was attached to produce
That's
it.
Guillermo
So,
del Toro, so
uh,
he'd be the only one who can do it justice.
well, yeah, maybe we'll see.
I mean, if of anyone else, like I don't think I think he's the right one for the job.
Hmm.
I don't think anyone else would be able to do even if the totally flops and isn't that great. Anyone else would have done even worse. So that's how I kind of feel about that. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, seeing that because I just have so many fond memories of those books when I was a kid.
Nice.
Ben?
Actually, I have quite a large list.
Well, don't
Well, just pick a couple that you're gonna
don't go
see.
too
You'll
far
probably
out.
end it.
because
Yeah.
we-
Okay, fine.
time.
I'll run through it really quick. If we're talking about nostalgia, coming up in, I believe, next week or so, or probably this week, Dora the Explorer. I actually want to see that movie.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Isn't that the one that had the trailer that had like the
Yes.
fart noises, and he said,
Yes.
"Oh, I shouldn't have had the chimichangas."
Yes. That was it. Yeah, and I can't wait to see that part.
Okay,
That
well,
sounds
I
like
wait to listen to your review for that one.
That
Hey,
sounds like
definitely-
There's a movie that has Benicio del Toro as Swiper the Fox and Danny Trejo as Boots the Monkey. I am gonna see it. I mean,
Yeah.
that already sounds awesome on paper. Why would I not want to see that? Another movie coming up, we kind of talked about it, was Good Boys.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I almost got that confused with the show you were talking about. I was like, wait, I thought that was a movie. But yeah, Good Boys. That I do want to see that too because it looks pretty fun.
Yeah, so that's coming up in the next month. Should be good. Okay, so trailer for this just dropped, but a movie called Jojo Rabbit. Not sure if you guys have heard of that one. No. It's from director Taika Waititi. He directed the latest Thor movie, Thor Ragnarok. It's kind of like kind of reminds me of a Wes Anderson comedy. It looks pretty funny. It's about a young boy and his imaginary friend Adolf Hitler.
Oh, wow.
So
What's this movie called again?
Jojo Rabbit. The trailer just came out,
Oh.
so it looks really great.
When is that supposed to come out?
Sometime in fall, so
Okay.
it should be coming out somewhat soon. I'm not really sure what the date is, but I've seen the rest of Taika's films, and they're all hilarious, so this should be no different. In TV land, Mindhunter season 2 trailer just dropped.
Oh man, that's gonna be. I totally forgot. I wanted to talk about that. That's
The
good.
what?
I've been waiting so long for that.
I know. Oh my god, I didn't even know it was coming out,
worried.
and here we
I
are.
know. I was so worried they weren't gonna continue that.
Yeah, I need more David Fincher in my life.
David, did you not see? Have you not watched Mindhunters?
My Hunters?
Or
Mindhunter.
Mindhunter, singular?
M-I-N-E?
No, it's plural, right?
Oh, mind,
M-I-N-D? Oh.
not M-E-I-N or whatever.
Oh, sorry, it's singular. Mindhunter.
Yeah.
So.
It is a film. It's a Netflix series produced by David Fincher. David Fincher even directs a few of the episodes, but it is amazing. Honestly,
to give you like a quick synopsis by Stu, for if you haven't, because you haven't seen it, David. It's basically a show about how I think is the FBI basically came up with their tracking, or the type of person that basically where they coined the phrase serial killer.
Oh.
So it's like a whole show about like them like coming up like what they did in the process of doing that. From what I remember.
Yeah.
So just when I heard that premise, I was like, oh shit, I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like every episode is pretty much like watching a mini David Fincher film. So if that's anything to go by.
No, that does not help me at all.
What, you don't like Seven? You don't like Fight Club? You don't like?
Well, see, if you just say the movie names and not the director name, then I'll be like,
Zodiac.
oh shit, yeah.
Like
Seven's
Zodiac.
like one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, and now you get a little of that in every single episode. It's amazing.
All right, I'll keep an eye out for that. I'll start watching those on Netflix.
Yeah. In other news, well, I mean, this is kind of unfair, but Comic-Con just rolled by, so there were a bunch of trailers, but Zombieland 2 trailer came out. I'm not really too sure about that one.
Why not?
We'll see. Well, I mean, it's been a really long time since the other Zombieland came out.
Right.
And everyone's a little grown up. Everyone's careers kind of blossomed. I'm not really sure if everyone's just kind of phoning it in at this point.
Oh, they're too big for that role now, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Woody Harrelson, I mean, he was already Woody Harrelson when they did Zombieland 1.
Yeah,
so.
I'm talking about Emma Stone particularly, and Jesse Eisenberg. They both seem like.
I mean, Jesse Eisenberg, I feel like he's like, to me, he's like a whatever actor.
He is. Like, I don't really like him, but he definitely has.
Not a big deal to me. I can see Emma Stone though.
Yeah.
Being that.
I don't know. It and plus, I mean, this movie has been tried many times. Yeah, Zombieland 2, many times.
What do you mean it's been tried? Like they tried to shoot it multiple times, or?
The creator of the movie, the original movie, has been trying to do something to continue Zombieland, and every time he's tried something, it's always fallen like on its ass.
Oh.
And he went on this rant about how it's the fans' fault that no one wanted it, and it just made him look terrible.
Oh, I see.
It was really bad because he put out a trailer for like a proposed TV show, and nobody wanted it, and it just got canned. And he went on this giant rant about how it was all the fans' fault that it failed. Well, no shit, if no one wants it, it's not their fault. So I have a kind of a sour taste about it in my mouth, but I'm ready to be proven wrong.
I mean, I wish that would happen with other things where nobody wants it, but they seem to just make it anyways, like the Sonic movie.
I would watch that.
I mean, yeah, I'm still gonna probably watch it, but like,
Jim Carrey.
I really thought that you were gonna turn that in a different direction. I literally just like spit on myself. I was like, did you just really say Sonic movie?
Yeah, the Sonic movie.
Yeah, the Sonic
Jim
movie.
Carrey doesn't want to see Jim Carrey.
Dr. Robotnik.
Oh my god.
But that
Anyways,
that is the perfect role for him, though. It's Jim Carrey.
No, but I was talking more about referring more to how like they did such a shit job at animating Sonic.
Yeah.
It's like the person who did it has never seen Sonic, has never played Sonic.
It got delayed again, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would hope so. So they fixed that shit.
Well, I mean, it got delayed once so they can fix the animation, but then it got delayed again.